Hello world, I'm Carole Leblanc, the owner of Viva Vacation, and I'm super excited to launch our new podcast. Who doesn't like to talk about travel, right? My travel addiction started with a family trip to Disney when I was 14, and I've been spending most of my money on travel ever since. One could say I work to travel, I live to travel, and that travel is my therapy. Actually, it's probably cheaper than therapy. But one thing I can tell you, I've never regretted a penny I spent on travel. And now in my 50th year on this wonderful planet Earth, I have my own travel company that permits me to travel even more while sharing my passion with others. I will say I've never been so busy and I've never learned so much than in the past 6 months, but man, I am loving every minute of it. When you're doing something you love, you can't really call it work. So for our first podcast today, I am joined by Danielle Price, one of Viva Vacations travel consultant. Hello, Danielle. How are you?
Hi, Carole. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. You must be super relaxed just getting back from Florida. How was your trip? And can you maybe share a few highlights?
Sure. So our trip in Florida was great. It was a family vacation, and it was all about doing things that our boys have been wanting to do. So we did an NHL game, which was amazing. So we spent some time in Tampa. We had rented a house in a resort area it was close to Orlando. So, we were great driving distance to all different activities. We visited Topgolf, which was a huge highlight. We also did some golfing. We discovered a few new places as well that maybe, one day we can talk about more, but overall it was a great vacation, time well spent with the family.
That sounds awesome, Danielle. Super. And I'm hearing from a lot of clients that the weather was actually like above normal for that time of year, right?
It was 28 to 30 degrees every single day, sunshine, like no complaints at all.
Wow. Now you lucked out there.
Yeah.
So Danielle, you're a brand new travel consultant. You started with Viva back in November, so about 4 months, I think.
Yeah.
So what are the things you've learned about the services of travel consultants that you might have not known before you started?
I would say the main thing is fees for a travel agent. So I always figured that, there was fees associated to it. Maybe it was something that was not attainable for me, but actually most travel options such as resorts, cruises, hotels, there's actually no cost to the client as we're paid by commission. So really what you're doing as a client in reaching out to a travel agent is you're supporting a smaller business rather than a larger one at no extra cost to you.
Right. And actually we do charge small service fees for air tickets because the airlines do not provide commissions, and we would charge service fees on a non-packaged trip. So if you wanted to do 3-4 cities in Europe, we might charge a fee, or we will charge a fee for that.
Right.
So yeah, for sure. Actually, it's one of the things I've been surprised to hear from some of my clients as well, where they were, assuming that we charge a big fee for most travel options, which is not the case always. So what about the people out there, Danielle, that like to do their own planning and research for trips? What would you tell them?
Really what I would say is if planning and researching for travel is something that, someone really enjoys doing, they like researching, they like learning those new things, by all means, keep doing it. I think that we can all agree the more that anyone knows about a certain destination that they're willing to visit, the better. But maybe consider calling us at the end of your research to see if we could possibly complement your vacation planning by maybe providing options that you may have overlooked, or even maybe find a better price, or maybe a small perk that you would have not otherwise gotten.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. Like our services are really based on building a relationship of trust with our clients, actually similar to a good marriage. We're there with them through the good and the bad of their travel adventures. So I know for a fact that you've had to help a few clients with some challenges recently. Can you maybe provide a few examples of the things you've been able to do for a client that were kind of having issues?
Sure. So this is a situation that happened quite early on. And I had a client that approached me to book a vacation, looking for a resort, sorry, adults only. I think, we went through a few options. I found a great option. He was super excited. So decided to go ahead and book it. So we went through everything, had great discussions about the importance of travel insurance. So he took my advice and purchased the travel insurance. And then a few days later, I get a message saying, well, we have a few of our buddies that would like to join us. Can you, get them the same package that you got me? So I start looking and I think, great, this is going to be fun. There's going to be four other actually people that are going to join aboard. Well, unfortunately, when I started looking, there was no availability left. So I really tried all different avenues to try to see if we could get some more availability, but the resort was completely sold out for their dates. So their main goal at this point was now being all together at a resort. So because the individual had purchased insurance, I was able to work things through where we did a change in resort for the initial client that contacted me. And we were able to get all 6 people at the same resort. They were very pleased with the resort and they were so grateful that I was able to help them out with that. So it was really a win-win situation for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. The fact that they had insurance gave them flexibility for making changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the past months, I've actually had a few people who were not clients of mine, but who had experienced an issue with either the cruise line or the travel supplier, and they wanted my help because they couldn't seem to resolve it on their own. Unfortunately, unless we make the booking for you, the company won't permit us to call them afterwards on your behalf. So going through an agent gives you an extra sense of support and security if things don't go as planned or if you need to make changes. So we work with a large network of people, including representatives from most of the travel companies. So they're there to support us, and as a result, it's a great benefit to the clients as well. I'm not saying we can resolve every issue because there are things that are not within our control, but when it is within our control, we will go to bat for you. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So Danielle, a lot of things have changed for travel during the pandemic. Most people like us who live to travel did return as soon as the restrictions were lifted. What are some of the things that have changed in terms of travel in the last 3 years?
I'd say one of the main things that I've noticed is that last minute deals are getting rare because the demand is so high. Like even just to give you an example, today I had someone contact me. She had relatives that were going to Cuba March 20th. So, quite last minute. And there was a specific resort. She was willing to pay the price, but there was absolutely no occupancy left at the resort. So one of the main things is, prices are higher than they were before the pandemic. Last minute deals are getting very rare just because the demand is so high. And, I remember the days where $1,200 per person for a decent resort, you could find those types of deals. Well, unfortunately, those seem to be mostly gone. So really, one thing I would say is travelers should really budget more for travel than they did before. A lot of less options as well in terms of flights. You probably seen on news and social media that WestJet, for example, has eliminated a lot of, or all flights from, not all flights, but a lot of flights from Atlantic Canada. Sunwing and Air Canada have even reduced their flights from Atlantic as well. So, those are all things that have impacts on availability and pricing. Also, peak times such as the holiday season, March break, summer break means higher prices for those who don't book in advance. So really peak times like March break, Christmas, things like that, we should be really looking at booking those 9 to 12 months in advance to get the best prices. And I've already have clients that have booked their Christmas 2023 vacation. And I know that even yourself, Carole, you have people that have booked in early 2024 already. So again, as soon as you decide that you want to travel, I recommend that we start looking at options right away and get something booked as soon as possible.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice. Yeah, actually, in the past few months, I've had a lot of people ask, when do you think a good deal is coming out or whatever? And if I'm being honest, in the last year, since travel has kind of resumed to a normal state, we have not seen many deals. Like you said, the demand is so high, everyone is desperate to travel again. And honestly, I'm not sure we're going to see those pre-pandemic deals again. Time will tell, I guess. So Danielle, what drives you to travel as often as you do, and what does traveling mean to you?
For me, it's really like the little things that I get out of traveling. So just the pure happiness and joy that I feel when I love warmer weather. So, little things like just having my morning coffee in a great destination with some nice views, hearing the water, seeing that sunshine. Like to me, that is usually the highlight of my vacations. And of course, just exploring and discovering new areas. And I love to live that with my family. So seeing my kids, enjoy that and appreciate those things just means so much to me. So for me, like that's just, I crave that. And I also appreciate that so much when I travel.
Yeah, that resonates with me totally. Like for me, the joy of travel means like, happiness, adventure, relaxation. Travel is definitely one of the things that's bonded our family and has obviously provided us with wonderful memories. And for me personally, it means I can leave the responsibilities of work and home behind and, embrace a new city, a new country, a new culture without having to worry about deadlines, employees, laundry, cleaning, and cooking. So yeah, definitely is something that I can't see going without, to be honest. So what would you recommend, Danielle, to people who want to travel more and for some reason don't find either the time, the money, or the inspiration to travel?
Mm-hmm. So I think if it is a priority of yours, then you need to actually make it a priority in your life and plan for it. Whether that means it's twice a year for you, once a year, or even every 5 years, just make it happen, of course, within your means, and we can certainly help you with that. By finding a good travel agent that you trust and you feel has your back. But bottom line, we all know life is short, so take advantage of every moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my favorite travel quote is fill your life with experiences, not things. So something that I strive to do, and I know many of you do as well. So that wraps up our inaugural podcast, Danielle. Thank you so much for joining me for this and sharing your experience. And to all the listeners, we hope you enjoyed it and will continue to listen in as we will have a variety of travel topics and guests in the coming months and years. And when you're ready to book your next vacation, we'll be ready for you. If you don't already have a Viva Vacation agent, I encourage you to read all of their bios on our website at vivavacation.ca. And please don't be shy to post comments or questions or even suggestions for future podcasts. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, Viva Vacation!